So, we are loading into some more Rome Total War. We are back with the barbarians. Let's firstly just move everyone back slightly so I can arrange my line how I want it. Where are my levy freemen? Right, you lot, front and centre. Something like that. Then we have got 3 units of slingers. Actually, I want to put you on group 1. Hopefully he doesn't ready himself up too quickly so it gives me time to array my forces how I like. Then we have got all our cavalry. Then on the flanks, what have we got situation-wise? We've got our 2 sworn there. Let's put you guys on there. You two are chosen swords? No, they're all Celtic warriors. Okay. So we've got quite a sort of melee, sword-rich front line, which is obviously part of the plan. Push those that way, and we'll push them over there. And behind the lines, we'll have our 2 units of Oathsworn, sort of loosely on the flanks, but not right sort of out on the wings of the line. So these can reinforce a section as needed. Cavalry-wise, let's get these guys a little bit of ranged. You 2 down there, and you 2 up here. I'm going to put these 2 here, sort of the more visible 2, and I kind of want to keep these 2 over here a bit more hidden, you know, because he knows I've got a general somewhere, so at least if he sees that, he might think that's my only cavalry force available, and actually there's a bit more to sort of bring into the fight. So, yeah, I don't actually know what sort of faction I'm fighting against, so we'll see when we get involved. We've obviously got these light little Celtic warriors, really high melee weapon damage. I noticed if you look here, it's got 40 weapon damage, which is like nigh on the same as Oathsworn, only very slightly less. They do have poor melee attack, but you know, I'm kind of, these are my flankers. They're fast, hard hitting, doing that damage, getting in on the flanks where they're going to be able to apply that damage. Obviously, levy freemen in the centre, load of crap, but they're just there as my meat shield. So let's have a look. Provisionally, I'm just going to be aggressive. Who is he? Oh, he's Pontic. He's got a very heavy army, I notice. You can walk. I don't mind. Let's push our cavalry up, down through these. Ooh, it's perhaps a little bit too flanking, isn't it? So he's got a very strong front line, very heavy melee infantry. He's got some heavy hoplites. And some pike infantry as well at the back. If this is his army, then it's very heavy. Yeah, you know, heavy shot cavalry, everything's heavy, which is fine. I'd rather deal with that. We're presenting a much wider front, which is where I think our sort of main advantages are going to be, in the sense that we're going to hit and envelop. That's what I want to do. You know, I don't want to be fighting head to head. You know, these are going to cut through my levy freemen brutally. I mean, look at how tough, you know, proper heavy infantry these are. But once I start to bring the Oathsworn into play, I think we can hopefully win the cavalry fight, which is going to be a big one. Then I think hopefully we can start to swing this more in our favour. I've not seen much in the way of his ranged units either. We've obviously only got sort of a handful, 3 units of slingers. I didn't go too heavy on the range, but you know, it gives us something to play with. Bring these guys forward. We'll stick you in guard mode because chasing units. Let's just bring you in front of the lines. We'll pull you back in a bit. All our infantry are getting in position now. Let's just see what he does. He seems to be playing quite aggressively, which is surprising given his army composition in a way. He has got quite a lot of Pontic swordsmen, I must admit. Maybe I was a little overconfident here. We're going to do basically no damage here. Fighting against the front of heavy shielded infantry. You know, it's not the forte here. It's what I want to be targeting. Things like those scythe chariots. His general, particularly good at damaging this sort of thing. I don't know where his cavalry has gone. That is a concern. Yeah, see, we're doing damage against these chariots already. This is where these slingers are good at. I think most of these guys are going to have javelins, which is going to be a concern for us.
Units have been discovered.
He's going very ham with his chariots. Okay, 2 units of heavy Pontic cavalry. Keep an eye on our slingers here. Yeah, they're struggling already. Smashing those chariots. What is he doing? Such a bold move. Is that his general's unit? Can't quite tell. No, doesn't look like it because it's not been declared as his general unit.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden units.
Okay, so we've got these 2 units of heavy shot cavalry. They're good units.
Elite cavalry.
Let's have a look. Let's get those slingers back behind the lines. Start getting their attention on those guys there.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
Let's commit our cavalry here. We've got our hidden cavalry up here still. He's just sort of skirting himself around, really, being a bit overconfident with his cavalry. We're going to suffer here slightly. There's an intimidate. No, perhaps not. Let's bring our guys around here. We're going to struggle in that initial fight, but we should win, ultimately. He's a shock cavalry, not a prolonged fighting cavalry. And as we bring our guys around here into the back, we should hopefully start to contribute to this fight. His cavalry here at the front just got mullered, running into my levy freeman. Really not a very good move on his part there. Reform you. Look neat, please, people. And cavalry do quite badly against slingers, or slingers are quite good against cavalry. Depends how you want to phrase it. So they're shaken. Let's get in with our war cry, I think. You're going to get them to rout. No wavering. Well, they're taking quite a few casualties. Come on. Break. 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 There we go. They've broken. Cool. That's the cavalry fight won. Nice. Okay. Let's start to position ourselves accordingly. Now, we're going to think about pretty much... Can I drag those unit positions around? Shame. I'm going to advance everyone together. Put you into a second group. Should have done that from the start. Now we're starting to make a move. I feel like we're completely dominant on mobility. This is where we can now start to secure our victory. Because we can start to close off his options. Particularly in the terms of our cavalry dominance. We're going to struggle with this initial engagement. Particularly as he's going to cut hard through my levy freeman, I think. You can go a little bit quicker. But once we get him engaged across the front, I think our situation will improve quite a lot. I'm going to bring those those Oathsworn a little bit closer in here. Really need some better mobility, visibility as well.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden units.
Okay, we're starting to get some visibility back here. Let's push those slingers forwards. He's got his heavy pikes. He's forming a deep, deep wall. Interesting move, actually. Those pikes are going to make it hard for me to implement my cavalry as effectively as I would like. We'll bring up our slingers and focus on some of the rear-facing units like these guys here. Going to prolong the fight slightly, but we don't have an unlimited amount of ammunition, so it's not going to prolong it that long. But at least by shooting in the back, we may stand a chance of actually doing some damage, although we're quite high rangers, and they are a heavy pike infantry. Not being tremendously effective, is it? Have we killed? Oh, we killed a few Pontic shields there. That killed no one. Woo! Okay. Oh dear. Okay, let's think about this then. Do I engage with the levy freeman on the front? Probably not really. Bring these lines around. To give us some more options. You know,
our hidden units have been discovered.
I'm going to bring in these Oathsworn. These are my two key units here. Have I actually killed anyone yet? Oh, 5 people! Woo! Slingers slowly racking up a bit of damage. You'd think they'd do a better job than that. They're actually killing more people in the front row.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
Starting to maneuver myself, trying to keep my energy levels high, you know, so as soon as we get stuck into this combat, we're not sort of start to wear ourselves out super quickly. I think I'm probably going to pick my 2 Oathsworn on each flank, to be honest. Because these are going to be the keys to trying to break these 2 flanks. They've got 1 unit of Pontic swordsmen. He's up such a defensive position. Really quite well played. I'm quite annoyed.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
Sorry, it's just a case of getting myself into position and then launching myself, basically. Because we've got to be careful we don't get hit by too many javelins, because he may be javelin armed.
Chosen swords, melee warriors.
We are off, basically.
3 men. Forward. Ready for levy.
We don't really have a lot to offer here. I just got to get these guys so they
One
don't
of our units has used all its
get you
ammunition.
more focused on the centre.
Warriors. Get running.
And we'll get our Oathsworn is basically now engaged across the flanks. Okay, we're engaged on all flanks now. Let's bring our general around because I want to make use of his ability probably.
Ready.
Not the easiest thing to get to turn around, are they? I'm hoping these hoplites here were going to turn around to face the sort of oncoming attack.
Warriors. Watch out.
They do have to try and hit on the flanks, aren't they, really? One's going to be a very tough fight here. Okay, now is at least they got their javelins off. Getting a little bit laggy as well, I notice as well. Okay, they're wavering. I want to try and break these flank units, you see. Once I can start to eat the unit inwards. God, I thought that might have got them, particularly with them being waving. There they go. Nice, 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 nice.
Warriors.
You three sort of be pushing onto that.
Kill.
You sort of pushing onto that flank here. Yeah, they're largely doing sort of what I hoped they wanted to do. Starting to break them on the flanks. You know, their spearmen are doing a good job, and they have made redundant almost my cavalry because there's nothing I can really do to implement my cavalry effectively here. It's annoying, I will grant you. What does Intimidate actually do? Prevents a single enemy... Oh, not a lot of use.
Infantry.
Where's the Oathsworn? You need to be going for them.
Battle ready.
Keep pushing on people. It's annoyingly laggy here. They're routing through their own unit. Those bronze pikemen, they are getting some kills here at the front look, but they're not really doing a lot because now they're facing the other way. And we're starting to eat in from the end on now. How are these guys, these Pontic swords, more middle face doing? Doing quite well. Although actually not doing so badly against their heavy hoplites, to be honest. You know, they are very heavy spear infantry, but they're not that great.
Sons of God.
Still 50 seconds till I get my recharge in. Those hoplites are wavering. It would be nice if they routed. Along the centre, obviously we're not doing quite so well. Our slingers are about out of ammunition. They caused a few more casualties. Nothing particularly impressive though.
Sons of God.
Not really a lot I can contribute here with these cavalry. It's annoying. Obviously no point me charging a pike wall. Really just a job for the infantry to grind their way through. 35 seconds and we can start to basically pick off a new unit to right. If I had that ability now I could break those hoplites, I think. With them being in the wavering state. Getting a few more kills with our guys there. Slowly working our way along that pike line.
Our spears are yours.
We are working down those Pontic swords. Taking very few casualties on our Oathsworn, which is exactly what we want because those Oathsworn, as I said, they're the two backbone units of my army.
Warriors of gold.
Come on, Warcry!
The men are wavering.
Ooh, who's wavering? That was just some of the heavy spearmen. We obviously knew that was to be the case as we're fighting these frontal units. The slight risk, his best ability now would be to start to pull through some of these more frontal units like this, like he's thinking about doing here now. To try and think about getting some flanking manoeuvres. Exactly the right thing for him to do. The consequence is, this is now where my cavalry can start to come into play. In a way that it hasn't been able to previously, and he is gapping himself in the line.
Elite cavalry.
Did those guys actually break? No, they didn't. That's a bit unfortunate. I really thought they would have done. Let's see if we can get them
One
to
of our
go.
units has used all its
God, you
ammunition.
bastards, we're out.
Heavy horse.
They've sort of like self-flanked.
Horse of gold. Noble horse.
See what these pikemen are going to do.
Orders. Battle ready. Mounted warriors.
Well, they're coming in there. By the looks of things.
Warriors ready. Heavy horse. Right at advance at speed. Orders.
You can't face all of us at once.
Forward. Heartbeat riders. Advance. Battle ready. Warriors ready.
Go on, get in before he gets the pikes down. There we go. That's like Total War Arena this is again. That should break them, surely to God.
Ready.
Oops. No, 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 no. Continue the fight, continue the fight, continue the fight. Particularly as you're now in amongst them. You should cut them down so brutally. Yeah, good job, my man. Good job. They shouldn't really be engaging them, should they? How is this fight going on here? Starting to break slowly the end units. These pikemen must be going down pretty quickly, you would think. They are really. I'm really surprised they didn't rout to them, given the sort of the impact of the charge. Those hoplites are also hanging on quite well. We ourselves are not hanging on quite so well here, though. I may think about, what are they? Just a chosen swordsman. I may rear charge these Pontic swords. They're getting, because these guys aren't really contributing a lot to the fight. They can't really get forwards, and they're presenting quite a nice opportunity for me to get stuck in there. Looks like he's committing one of his own units as well to that sort of move. The pikes are still just in hand to hand. How are they getting on? Down to 70 units now. Not really taking too many losses on the cavalry front. Looks like some of their own Pontic swords are starting to struggle a little bit. There's not much in the way of opportunity for my cavalry, particularly. Levy Freeman are again unhappy about the situation, understandably.
Our men flee the field of battle.
Some of their pikes must be about to go, surely. Let's start to just get these reassigned to make sure they're definitely applying their full pressure to the fight. No real opportunities for my cavalry to get in there. Their pikes have now gone and routed, which is what we were hoping for. Has our general got his war cry back? Yes, he has. God, they're shattered. Nice. I know it's cruel, but I know they're shattered and running anyway, but you might as well run them down, aren't you? What is total war if you're not running down innocent people who can't escape? Kill them, and on to the Pontic swords! Nice, they're routing. Starting to tip the balance now. It's going, they're going. We've got this. I'm confident. Come back, Levy Freeman, you cowards.
Noble horse.
Good job. I love having a cavalry dominance. It's so much nicer. Even when they can't implement themselves like this, it still gives you those options, particularly when you've got a good general as well, to sort of throw yourself around as needed. As soon as someone steps out of line like these guys here, you can pin them down with cavalry and start to bring other units in. So it works out really nicely, I think.
Warriors of Gaul. Hags and charge.
Keep the pressure up there.
Elite.
I think we'll bring our general down now. Start to look what opportunities we've got here. We've really opened up this gap here, so let's recharge these heavy Pontic infantry here. Come on, laggy. Laggy McLag. Come the cav. So they've got about 112 people. Let's see how much damage we do in our cavalry charge. We've certainly committed ourselves thoroughly to that charge, haven't we? 198, 96, 95. Nice amount of damage. Really nice amount of damage. Fortunately, not got our ability back because that would be able to rout them with our war cry. We might rout them anyway, to be fair. Yeah, they've gone. Cavalry. So good in this game. So critical to sort of securing a victory.
Elite cavalry.
What sort of opportunities else have we got here?
Right out quickly now.
Sort of form ourselves up again. I'm not interested in getting a prolonged fight there. I may recharge these guys if I can. I can get myself formed up again in time. I'm going to get our Intimidate back again in a minute shortly. Go in. Not going to do so much damage, not got so much in front of us for it to actually get in here. Quite like we do with the others. But in 3 seconds we're going to get our war cry back anyway. And we'll just be able to rout these guys, I reckon. Shaken, wavering. Go on. You're going to do them. They might just hang on by the looks of things. There they go. Their general's dead. Yeah, look at, they're just going to get cut down now. They're all going to go at once. There they go. Last ones. And there they go. Victory. I'm getting good at this Rome now. Now I know how it works. Decisive victory. nice, that was a really good battle. Really nice to see sort of different army compositions to come up against. I had quite a few of these in a row where I was just fighting against Romans every time. So I didn't really bother. I recorded them, but I didn't want to put them out because they're just not that exciting when it's just Romans every time. I know Pontic's still sort of what we'd class as a professional army, but it's interesting to fight some different compositions, even though we went relatively just sort of heavy infantry. But it's interesting to throw those pikes into the equation, add something different to play with. I think he made some real bad decisions with his cavalry early on, sallying them sort of fourth in front of the lines, which just made them vulnerable to my slingers. That's something I found, that while slingers kind of struggle, you saw how little damage they did against some of their heavy infantry, particularly even the back of pikemen. They cut down cavalry really effectively. You know, they actually slaughtered these scythe chariots and the cavalry that ran in front of our lines. You know, they got cut down by our slingers pretty effectively. So that's certainly something that I think we want to try and remember for future, that, you know, it's always worth having those slingers, and they're just dirt cheap Celtic slingers, so always might as well use them. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I shall see you all on the next video.